Could you tell me a little bit about anxiety, how you deal with anxiety? Is it something you've suffered with in the past?
No, but people in my family have.
People in your family have, yeah. So it's suffered with that for everybody recently through the lockdowns, doesn't it?
People need to have more patience with it.
A little bit more patience with it, you think, from the general public towards people who are suffering
Yeah,
with mental health?
definitely. Schools, workplace, and
Absolutely.
yeah,
That's really
definitely.
great. Thank you very much for your comments.
It's not really understood, is it?
It's not really understood at all, no. I think people should have a bit more education in schools about mental health. I think kids need to understand mental health a bit better, definitely.
I agree.
Thanks very much for your time. So we're just talking to people out in public, just speaking to people about how they've experienced anxiety and what their thoughts are on anxiety and how it's handled.
I used to volunteer for Second Step, so...
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
oh, that's fantastic.
yeah.
So that's something you know a little bit about then?
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. So what was your experience of that been? Have you helped a lot of people, presumably?
Yes, definitely, and it's great to, help out, and, it kind of gives you a sense of purpose as well.
It does. It's a great feeling helping other people, isn't it?
Yes.
Do you think there's something that could be done a bit more by, say, like the government or the local councils to support people in mental health, especially given what everybody's been through in the last couple of years with lockdowns? I mean, anxiety and depression have been rife, and what are your thoughts on that?
Just maybe kind of more money available for
More funding.
funding, definitely. I remember there being a big problem with funding, and especially now at the moment is really bad. So
There's more and more people suffering with mental health and more services being cut, aren't there?
yes.
Thank you very much for your time today. Thanks for your thoughts. You have a great day. Cheers. It's Mental Health Awareness Week this week, and we're talking to people about anxiety. Is that something you've suffered with yourself?
Yeah, like sometimes when like exams in like school, you feel quite
pressures.
Yeah.
Pressures. How do you deal with that personally? Do you have techniques you use, or?
Yeah. Me personally, I take like deep breaths. Like I count to 10, I take deep breaths. Like
It's really cool.
overcome that. Yeah.
Whereabouts did you learn that from? Who showed you that?
In school, they taught us like some techniques.
Oh, that's really cool. That's really cool. Which school do you go to? Give them a shout out.
I go to St. Catherine's, so yeah, big shout out.
Hey guys, do you have a time to talk a little bit about mental health? It's Mental Health Awareness Week this week.
I don't know. No? Yeah, mental health serious, man. Yeah.
Mental health is very serious. It's the theme for this year's anxiety. So, any thoughts on that at all?
Well, just to let people know, keep exercising, fitness.
Very important.
Extremely important. Try and get out and about in the country, not in the city environment, but in nature, yeah?
Absolutely. We're very big on walking and being out in nature. I think diet and exercise, simple things that you can do to take care of yourself.
And also get a plant. If you've got mental health, get a plant and care for it.
What makes you say that? The caring aspect?
The caring aspect is sometimes if you focus too much on yourself, the mental health can get even deeper and deeper and deeper.
That is a fantastic little tip. I love that.
Yeah, wow.
Really, really cool. Thank you so much for that.
You're welcome.
And I'd second that, because having struggled with mental health as well, I found to get a focus, something completely different to what I usually do. For instance, in lockdown, I used to go to the local park and feed the geese, and got really
and
that was the focus.
Just being around the animals and being out in nature.
Having that to get up for in the morning and to go out, and I got to know them. It sounds strange, but I got to know all the different geese. And every one of them had character. So it's having a focus that's external from everything else that you usually doing. That's what I say to people as well that are struggling with it.
Yeah. I think this stuff is
something besides everything in your usual routine.
I think the simple things that have got so much power to them like that are really valuable, and this is why we've decided to come out today and interview people. We're podcasters. This is going to be going on a podcast, so we just want to put information out there that's helping other people, and chatting to ordinary people about how they deal with things is so valuable. We just want to pass that on, share the love, share the knowledge, so that's what we're all about.
It's all about, isn't it?
Thank you so much for your time today, and thank you for those great little tips. Fantastic. Cheers guys, bless yourselves. Take care guys. See ya. Any thoughts on anxiety that you could share with us?
The fact that maybe majority of people's got anxiety most times, so yeah, it's a big problem, I guess.
Is a huge problem. Is there something that you do personally to manage your anxiety that you could share?
Yeah, I try and hide away from people.
You try and keep away from everybody else?
Yeah, lock myself away, so after a stressful day in work, I literally just go home and just chill out, watch a movie, stuff like that.
Just in your own space.
Yeah, a little bit of music, you know what I mean? Just literally just try and calm myself down.
Do you know what? Music is something a lot of people have mentioned to us today, and I think music is something really, really powerful that so many people could hook into to help change their mood every day.
Definitely, I agree on that. I've always been big on my music. I used to be a DJ as well.
Oh, me too, mate. Me too. What kind of music?
Like house music. And
Oh, same here, brother. Same here. Yeah, back in the 90s, the scene was amazing, was it not?
yeah, it definitely was. Obviously, I was a little bit little for the 90s, but you know what I mean? That's when I kind of started listening to all that kind of music. So.
Oh, fantastic. I'm glad to have met a fellow musician and DJ, and thank you very much for your comments and your time. Have a great day.
You too.
Take care, bud. Cheers. So, is there anxiety something you guys could comment on and maybe tell us a bit about how you maybe experience it and deal with it?
Yeah, a lot. I don't know, to be honest. You just work it out.
Sidelined you.
I don't know, meds are a good one. I was on citalopram, that really helped with depression and anxiety. But I have anxiety every single day, but I just push myself to be as out there as possible, and then I'm better.
So you're a power through it kind of person.
Power through it kind of person, but sometimes you just got to do nothing, just stay home, be a baby, get under your blankie, pretend the world doesn't exist. But yeah, I don't know.
Sometimes you have to lock yourself away. You've got to know when to pull the curtains, don't you, I think that's an important lesson for people.
Yeah, but I sort of learned to deal with it, and he helps me a lot, and that's, yeah.
It's always important having somebody you can rely on by your side, isn't it? Always important.
Yeah, but I was quite bad this time last year. I couldn't leave the house, and now I'm so much better. So
And now here we are out in the middle of Bristol chatting to you randomly.
yeah, just be out there and just do it and push it, and it's great and it's worth it.
Do you have any little techniques you use to calm yourself down when things get a bit overwhelming? Do you do any breathing or meditation or anything like that? Any little techniques you use day to day?
So I have quite bad dissociation when I have anxiety, so for me it's physical touch. I need to feel something to get out of my mind and into my body again, or working out, or I don't know, anything. Just get up.
Do you use like a comfort blanket, like a weighted blanket or something like that as well? Is that something you'd use?
No, not so much. I just need to move and
Just movement.
not just sit there looking at the room around me like, oh my god, what's happening? Just move. Food's a good thing.
Food and doing something, I think, and having a purpose. Sense of purpose really helps. When I've been really anxious or depressed, I think most of the times when I've found my own way out without any outside help from anybody else has been through that very route itself, you know.
Or mugwort tea. That's meant to be good.
That's one I've not tried. I'll definitely check that one out.
It's all right. It didn't have a significant impact, but I see how it could help.
Okay, nice one. Thank you very much for your kind comments. Would you like a flyer to take with you? You can check out the podcast. Thanks very much. Nice to meet you both. Have a great day. Take care. Is there something you'd like to share with us about how you manage your anxiety?
I speak to people. Don't be scared to speak to anyone.
Coming from a man, that's really powerful. Really powerful. It's lovely to hear you saying that. I really must say, I got a smile on my face hearing that.
It took me to 8 weeks ago to learn that. I'd suffered for probably about 2 or 3 years with mental health issues. Not that I knew I had them, but I did have them. Then when my partner got cancer and we got involved with Macmillan, and they saw that it was going to make me explode, and they said, look, they pulled me into the room and said, look, you need to chat. If it's not to us, to anyone, to a friend, to a professional body, to anyone, just help yourself to help.
I'm so glad you found that, because that message is missed by so many men. It really is.
It's frightening to see how many people die. A friend of mine died on Facebook, not on Facebook obviously, but I saw it on Facebook for not being able to see his daughter, and it was messing with his head.
That's so tragic, isn't it? You know, and a bit of talking and a bit of support from fellow men could have really helped him.
Does the world listen, guys? Talk to anyone.
Oh, you heard it here. Thank you very much for that. Your comments have been so appreciated. Please take a flyer and follow us. Are you aware of self-help groups around Bristol, Andy's Man Club, things like that, talking groups for men?
No.
Anything you've heard of?
No.
Look up Andy's Man Club. It's something you might really like. It's an amazing charity. They're spread all over the UK, and they hold a group every Monday night meeting men, and men just come and chat about whatever they want. And I think that kind of thing is fantastic.
You got to talk. You got to.
Thank you so much for your time, my friend. You take care and have a great day. Cheers, buddy. Just asking about how they've managed and deal with anxiety on a daily basis.
I'd say, I don't know, being at uni is probably a massive thing, innit? With anxiety, just because there's a lot of people.
A lot of pressure, a lot of social pressure, a lot of financial pressure.
Coming from like the other side of the country as well, like for me, I'm at Leeds, so I don't know, just everyone's so different. And
I wouldn't have got that from your accent, really.
I know, it's crazy.
It's crazy. So are there any techniques that you use to manage your anxiety, or anything that you do to calm yourself down, or anything you might do? And no matter how ridiculous it might sound, sometimes the littlest things can have the biggest impact. Is there anything you can think of that you do?
I don't know, just like sit on my game. I just sit in my room and try to avoid everything, because sometimes it can be a bit overwhelming with stuff when anxiety can sort of kick up and meeting new people and all that stuff. But
do you chat to your mates about how you feel and all that kind of stuff? You got a support network around you?
Oh yeah, 100%. I think the people that you meet that you know are tight like these, like, I don't know, those are the people you want to go to, and I think it's important that people find those people quite early on and just like have that.
There's so many people out there in isolation, isn't there? Especially young people as well. Like, it's really good to know you've got good mates around you. Really good.
Yeah, we're chilling. It's good.
What about you guys? You got anything you want to add to that at all?
Maybe just work out.
Yeah, exercise is important.
Yeah, release all the stress. To be honest, like, because it just takes a toll on your like mind, and then if you release it in the gym, it's just like.
It's kind of like when you get out of your body, you get out of your mind as well, isn't it? You know what I mean? Like yeah.
Once. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. I'm really pleased to hear that. What about yourself?
To be fair, I think similar to what he said, something just about like it can be as simple as just like going to your room, just slow down, deep breaths, just stuff like that.
Yeah, just take some time for yourself, innit? Yeah.
Alone in a room, maybe. Yeah. To yourself, put some music on. That helps.
Yeah, music's something everybody's said today so far. Everybody we've spoken to said, "Oh, music really helps me. Music really helps me," and it's so important. I think it can change your mood, like that. You know, it's so cool. Listen, guys, thank you very much for your time, and have yourselves a great day. So we're out talking to people about anxiety and how they manage anxiety, and maybe how they experience anxiety as well. So any tips and tricks you'd like to share with people on how you manage that yourself?
Well, I guess it's a bit easy if you don't feel a strong feeling of anxiety yourself. Like I never had particular issues with it, so I don't know, maybe I'm lucky.
Maybe you're lucky.
Yeah. I guess that's the answer that I can give you, actually. I don't know.
Was anxiety something you suffered with through lockdowns at all?
No, not really. I've been fine.
You were one of the lucky people.
Yeah, I've been working all through the lockdown, so yeah, that's probably why.
Okay, you kept busy, yeah.
Yeah, that's probably why I've been lucky enough.
Okay, no worries. Thank you very much for your time. Take care. Cheers.
5 times in my life, actually, I've had to question myself, who I am, where I come from, where I'm going. And these sort of questions freeze you and make you go in auto mode. So the first one was when I became head boy, and I had this power that I could use, yet with that power came a lot of abuse, you know what I mean, towards me. And I couldn't do anything about it because I was head boy. Had I not had the badge, for example, you know what I mean, I would have behaved differently. So that was my first questioning, like, who am I? So where am I going? Okay, if I want the best of the best, here I am at the best position in the school. You know what I mean? Very unique, only one head boy out of 1,000. So what do I do now? Well, I was very depressed when teachers came up to me and told me about my friends misbehaving and why you should stop hanging around with your friends. Why do you have to hang around with them? They're questioning my integrity. Teachers abusing me, and I can't say anything back. Or students abusing me, and I can't really do anything back. I'm like, my God, you know what I mean? So you have to come in school and have to deal with all this. And why is it just me? Why is it always the head boy that gets it? No one can see this out of my friends, apart from one maybe. He saw it, and he told the teachers, "Excuse me, miss, that's not his problem, and he's not doing anything wrong. He's not going to leave his whole friend group and then isolate himself and ostracize himself." That was like my first experience of questioning existential existence.
So you were kind of in a position of power, but also in a prison at the same time, it sounds like.
And you know, the sword of a king hangs by the thread every night. You know what I mean? If his kingdom shakes, it's on him. You see what I mean? And so it's heavy to wear the crown. Yeah, heavy lies the crown.
There must have been a lot of pressure and anxiety in amongst all that for you. How did you manage that at the time, being a young man?
Auto mode. Block your feelings, numb yourself, and small laughters from friends sometimes. I'll stick with a few friends that I know they're so funny. that in my break time I just chill out with them and just watch them just have a squabble for no reason. And then, call this guy that, and then he comes up with something else. Come on, it's funny as hell, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's a bit of my little me time. Like, watching them, I'm like laughing to myself. I'm like, oh my God, without these guys as medicine.
Friends are so important, I think. Friends give you the strength to get through the stuff that you can't on your own.
No, we shouldn't ostracize ourselves from friends. Even if they're ostracizing themselves, we should make sure we're there for them. When they're overworking, that's usually a sign of ostracizing themselves. When they're drinking, when they're over partying, there's all signs that they're trying to escape.
It is escapism, isn't it? I was just thinking escapism. I'm glad you said that. It's all escapism. So when you see your friend escaping, what would you do? What would you say to other people to do if they know a friend?
You can only do so much, yeah. But you do cunning, be smart with it. Try and invite them to something free. They love freebies. I'll get you a drink, mate. As in, like, not an alcoholic drink, just a coffee, you know what I mean? Drink, alcohol is probably our biggest poison in this country.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It exacerbates most of the escapism.
It certainly does.
It's not just free escapism, it's costly. And then on top of that, because you're escaping, you're not just escaping on your own, you're actually causing other people harm too. So it's not just self-harm, it's also harm to other people. And then you're causing yourself even bigger harm. It's like this endless loop. You're harming yourself, harming other people, and then it escalates. It's like a war with yourself and people. You're like paying people to be enemies for free.
So you've been through these times in your life where you've had these moments of self-discovery, and would you say they've always come at the same time as like a period of being down, or maybe even breakdown as well?
I won't. What do you call it? Exaggerate to the point of breakdown, because those are very acute and very once in a blue moon. But low mood is usually the consistent, day in, day out. The guy can't laugh. The guy can't make a joke anymore. Guy used to laugh at this and never laugh anymore. What's happening? And you could tell something's forced. Forcing laughter, forcing a smile, forcing a walk. Simple questions you'll know when he declines. It's a sign of the fact he's losing life within him.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's really important to notice, and noticing the people around you as well, especially as men, because as men we're so bad at talking. And if you've got a mate who's in trouble and you can see he's in trouble, there's stuff you can do to help, right?
Yeah, exactly. You can see when men talk about things they like, all of a sudden they're lively. Usually they don't matter, but because they have hope and fear in that a football team, an esports team, and a strategy game. You know what I mean? Tools and DIY stuff and cars and anything we can use and win something, competition.
A bit of purpose, I think.
Yeah. To give you a sense of self-worth.
Yeah, because you get a sense of self-worth out of having purpose. Somebody earlier on said to us, get a house plant, then you've got something to care for. I thought that was a great little tip as well.
You have to look at that house plant as your baby.
Yeah, you have to care for it, you have to nurture it.
It's gonna heal you, something that you're going to take care of. So it takes your problems. So that's why we say guests. In Swahili, guests take burden away from you. So bring them in, invite them, have dinner with them. They'll tell you their problems and you can tell them they're yours. They'll tell you your problems, you don't have to say anything, but it just takes away from your troubles too. You see what I mean? Yeah. You're not self-isolating and zooming in on your little issue. You zoom out now. Like, there's other people that exist and have problems too. Thank God. So I'm not the only one. Togetherness, community.
Is there anything you'd like to share with us about how you deal and manage with anxiety?
Speak to people, really, like my friends, family around, who can support me with how I'm feeling and how to cope. And sometimes the doctors, they sometimes can prescribe stuff, but you have to pay for your medication now, don't you?
You do.
It should be free, I think.
I think it should be free. It should be free. Sounds like you've got a good little support network around you, though. People that you've built around you that can help you out when you need it. That's super important.
Yeah, but I don't think you should have to pay, because what's the way of people making them pay? What about people that don't have the money to pay?
I agree, absolutely. Yeah, there should be more funding for everything, including mental health services and the NHS, definitely.
Yeah, I agree. And the government just sit there and claim our taxes and
take taxes away, and they don't give us any money back in services.
Support people who are down. And they don't care, they just want their money for themselves.
Exactly. Thank you very much for your time. That's much appreciated. Take care, bud.
The trouble is, there's nothing for the kids to do anymore.
I think there's a lot of problems in mental health that come from people having a lack of purpose. What do you think about that?
It is, definitely, 100%.
Having a sense of purpose and something to focus on, something to drive yourself forwards towards is really important in life.
It's more important than people think. You know, there's far too much. A lot of parents don't, to me, mobile phones is the worst thing that they got invented.
Total distraction.
Because when you go around the street, no matter where you go, all you're getting is kids with plugs in their ears and twiddling all around with their mobile phones.
I agree with that, absolutely.
That don't do them any good at all.
Sometimes I feel like I'm walking down the street in the middle of a sea of drones.
Personally, I think that is the root of a lot of this mental health. Definitely, I think that is the root of mental health.
I don't think we always understand the implications of all the technology that we bring in so fast.
See, my grandson, he did have mental health before he went to Australia. He's in Australia now. He's sharing a house with two girls, and he's got a girlfriend now, and he's got no mental health. He's a far different boy.
So he's got a sense of purpose now, I guess.
He's found a sense of purpose, he's found a job over there, and he's doing well.
It's fantastic to hear. I'm really glad he's recovered and come through that.
The kids of today can be very rude. I'm disabled, but they fly in front of me to go in the bus. There's no hello, thank you, you know.
I know exactly what you mean. I think there's a massive
So rude.
I think there's a massive disconnect between the generations, and that personally, from my point of view, growing up, I learned so much from people who are older than me, and I think that's missing now. You know, I think there's a lot of wisdom that doesn't get passed on.
I agree with you 100%.
I think there's so much we can learn from the elder generations rather than just putting them into a home and, you know, see you later kind of thing.
Yeah, I've got a lot of great grandchildren. I've got 12 great grandchildren. I'm 85. And we watch those kids. And where I live is a Nigerian family and there's a Polish family. Both of them got one godson and one goddaughter, and they're both exactly the same age. They're 9 now. They class me as their grandmother.
That's so lovely to hear. That's a little sense of community. That's really lovely to hear.
Is what is lacking in this world.
I agree. I couldn't agree more. A sense of community is so important, and it really, people are so disconnected from each other. How many people don't know the people who live next door to them even these days? When I was growing up, I knew my whole street.
My next door people are terrible. A house was given to a boy of 17.
Okay, enough said about that one.
That's all I'm going to say about that one.
Well, listen, thank you very much for your time today. It's been great getting your thoughts, and I'm so pleased to hear about the little sense of community. Community is something that's so important to us on the podcast. It's something we're striving for. So I'm so pleased to hear that there's a little multicultural thing going on your street. It's brilliant.
It's 100% missing. And they
It really is.
Get it back.
So any thoughts on how you deal with and manage anxiety yourself?
Myself, I think I'm fortunate. I think I've been through quite a few hard tasks in life, so it's got me resilient, and now I just, pray and keep moving forward. I like helping people, so anyone I can help at any time, sit down and have a chat. Maybe those sort of things is what keeps me at bay.
Do you have a spiritual faith that keeps you safe?
Oh, well, I wouldn't say a faith, but I'd say that we're all from the same creation, and I think that somewhere along the line, we're connected somewhere.
I agree with that.
I don't know nothing, so as long as I keep going on that and I'm just respectful to everyone in life, then we should be good.
I think more people should be like that, mate. I really do. It's such an important thing to do. I think as well, especially being men, talking is super important. Like you're saying, talking to friends and helping people out, that's really important.
Yeah, I'm in the construction industry, so
real man's industry, man.
No, and you're a wuss and you're a this and you're a that, and I think over the last 5 years, it's got a lot better in that you have your representatives in mental health. The company I just started for, they've got a few representatives as well, and it is more
being a subject to be talked about. Do you know what I mean? I think a lot of death in men would come from the construction industry because, you know, it's very much a boysy, bantery kind of environment. So
there's a lot of drugs and drinking in the construction industry as well, isn't there? You know what I mean?
I won't talk about that part of it or and that, but you know, they say that the scaffolders have to be a bit nutty to go up there. Do you know what I mean?
I think you'd have to be able to work at that kind of height.
Exactly. So yeah, but I think it is important. Great, it is really, really important that we, as men, we do open up more. And it's not a weakness to talk about your mental state. You got to talk about it to be able to overcome it and work through it. And I think that especially men look at these things like weak. It's not weak. What's weak is not talking about it because you're not dealing with it then, are you? You know what I'm
Guys seem to think that like being vulnerable is a weakness, but actually making yourself a bit vulnerable and talking about something makes you really strong. The feeling you get afterwards is a real strength.
Yeah, definitely so. And I think our relationships with women get helped in that way when we get to talk more and we can see the compassionate side more. Sometimes, you know, when you're too tough, some women can't deal with that at all. Do you know what I mean? They need the cuddles. They need you to understand why they're crying over nothing at all. Do you know what I mean? Or something. It probably is something. Do you know what I mean? But we just got to be able to take the time and and appreciate everyone a little bit more in the world.
I think if you're a man and you go through the journey of understanding your own emotions and understanding yourself a bit better, you're able to be a bit more compassionate to other people, including women. I think that's what you're talking about. It's able to understand each other and communicate a bit better because you understand what's going on.
Yeah, and I think not just women as well, like, you know, we're in a times where the world's changing a lot more things are being brought to the forefront so that people can understand it more, and I think just by talking we'll be able to understand everything a bit more. Do you know what I mean? You know, I saw a fella with all this different colour hair the other day and I was like, what's going on there? And then he stopped to me and he goes to me, oh, do you know what, like, I really didn't like my hair before, so I started dyeing it. And then next minute I've talked to him for an hour, do you know what I mean? And we've had a good old little laugh. And I think that he needed that talk at that time. Do you know what I mean? So I think just opening up and just saying little things, saying hello, you know, being nice, giving each other a little wave, and I think that helps in mental health.
Oh, that's beautiful, man. That's so nice to hear. I'm really glad there's a gorgeous human being out doing this kind of stuff. So good.
Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time today, and have yourself a great rest of the day.
That's it. You too.
It sounds like I've got a few things to say, so hit it.
All right. Well, well, a couple of days ago, 6 days ago, was Maple, and everything was overwhelming. I just started crying and everything. Some people who I knew just came up to me and just spoke to me, and just some of my schoolmates. And after, like, because I was there for 5 hours just crying and just being overwhelmed. But yeah, just one thing I always do as well is just listen to music, like in class as well. Whenever I just feel myself just starting to get overwhelmed, I just put my music on full volume. Hurts my ears, but it's worth it.
Music is so powerful, isn't it? It can change your mood in an instant.
Especially Tyler, the Creator. You're probably gonna see me ride. I just ride around with Tyler, the Creator on. But the funny thing is with my anxiety, I do the most. Am I allowed to swear? Yeah, I do the most random shit, but it don't bother me. But if I'm at a party, I'm just there like, nah, fuck this. I'm just sitting down. I can't do it.
You kind of zone out, do you?
Huh?
You kind of zone out. You take yourself away and
zone out all the time. Is possibly the worst things to ever have, because you think you're fine, but then the next thing you know, you just find yourself just thinking, I can't do this shit. I just want to leave.